So first of all, I just want to welcome everyone here that's here with me in person, and to all of you that are joining me online. I appreciate your presence as well. My name is Penny, and I am the guide this morning as we go through the class. And as always, please remember that this is your practice. And as we go through, if there is something that your intuition is saying, this isn't right for me today, or it's not feeling good, please listen to that and respect it. We can use props, we can find another pose, whatever it is to make it feel comfortable and easeful for you. So please listen to that inner teacher as we go through. Today, first thing, what we are going to do is move into what's called constructive rest pose. And so to move into constructive rest pose, we'll come to seated with our knees bent and our feet on the floor. And if you want a blanket to put under your head, you can certainly grab that. And good morning, Ian. And we'll come down so that our torso and our head is resting on the mat. Feet are just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and then the knees can come in to rest against each other. And you can adjust your feet here so that it's they're in the most comfortable place for your knees. And once here, just take a nice inhale and a full exhale. Allow yourself to start to become present to the moment. And today is one of our yogis, kind of a milestone birthday. And so I wanted to wish her a birthday, plus anyone else whose birthday is today, or if this is your birthday week or your birthday month, or any of us that will have a birthday during this year. And it really kind of made me thinking, and of course, then I found this quote. And the quote says, you do not need a new year, a new week, or even a new day. All you need is your breath. Each breath offers you the opportunity to choose who you want to be, what you want to be, how you want to move forward. And with each breath, you can choose again and choose again and choose again. So with that in mind, I would invite you to consider that every day is birthday, so to speak. Every day you get to choose, you get to renew, so to speak. With each breath, you get to make that choice. And so to start, I thought I would do this, what David G. calls 16 seconds to clarity, to bliss, to peace. And so really checking in with your body. Is there any little adjustments that could make you even more comfortable here, more relaxed? And now I want you to think of an uncomfortable scene that you have experienced recently. Maybe it's disappointment, frustration, someone upset you, and nothing too deep here. We're not doing therapy or anything like that. Just something that was uncomfortable. And just picture that scene in your mind's eye. Now, if it's comfortable to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, and if not, please leave them open. And we're going to take 4 seconds to breathe in slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe that out for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold this for 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, breathing in for those 4 seconds with your count, feeling it going down your throat into your lungs. Holding the breath for 4, just observing the breath there, seeing it. Then exhaling the breath for 4. Notice as it leaves through the nose, observing as it disappears into the air. And now hold that breath out for 4. Notice as it, and then notice when you're ready to breathe that in for 4, to hold for 4, to breathe out completely for 4, and to hold that for 4. And now when you're ready, you can let your eyes open and just notice how you're feeling in this moment. Sometimes by putting our attention on the breath, it just lets our attention drift away from whatever that experience was. And while the pain might not go away, your mind is attending to the present moment. And that pain may fade a little bit into the background. So we pull our attention into the present moment by using the breath. And as we become aware of that breath, we can make the choice with each exhale on who we want to be. And then very slowly pull one knee in, then the other knee in towards the chest. And giving yourself a little hug, a little welcome to your practice this morning. And when you're ready, roll over to one side and press yourself up to a comfortable upright posture. And however that is to make you comfortable, if you'd like to be up on a blanket or a block. And we'll take an inhale here and we'll move the torso forward. And as you exhale, let the torso move around to the back. And the inhale brings you around towards the front. We'll let this motion start to warm up our hips, back. And as we move through this, it's kind of a rocking motion. Maybe this rocking motion allow us to connect with that inner child. So we think about birthdays and growing up, where we've come from. And we'll reverse that direction. Moving the other way. And we'll let these circles become slower and smaller. And coming back to center. And we'll take an inhale and let the shoulders lift. And on the exhale, release the shoulders back. Just let your breath move you through a few of these, lifting the shoulders and releasing shoulders down. The shoulder blades just flow down the back. Just letting some tension release. And with the shoulders relaxed, let the head start to move from side to side. So in that no motion, and sometimes I've heard it said, and I like this little quote that I've heard, that sometimes saying no is really your yes to yourself. We'll bring that chin back to center, and we'll let the gaze be upward. And the exhale, bring the chin down towards the chest. So we'll lift the gaze, and it's as if we're pulling up to the top of the head. So we're not really breaking the neck back. We're more lifting the gaze as we lift the chin, and then release the chin towards the chest. Just letting that all release. And we'll bring that head back to center, let those shoulders roll a little bit, shake out that upper torso. But before we go into the breath work, let's just let those hands come up overhead. And on the exhale, bring that right hand down to the mat. Give yourself a nice little side stretch here. Inhale, both hands come up, and the exhale, move to the other side. And release that all down. And we'll move into our breath work today, which is alternate nostril breath or Nadi Shodhana. And so I'm using my right hand here, and I'm going to use my thumb and my ring finger. The two fingers in the center can either rest on the palm or rest on your forehead. So this thumb will come to rest on your right nostril, the ring finger on the left nostril. And what we'll do is we'll take a nice breath in through both nostrils here. Release it out through the nose. Then we'll use the thumb to close off the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Take a pause as you switch fingers, opening the right nostril, closing the left, and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right. Pause to close off the right, then open the left and exhale through the left. The inhale comes back through the left. Switch fingers and exhale through the right. Now move through this with your breath and with your rhythm. Knowing that when you inhale through the right nostril, you're inhaling your sun energy, your yang energy, the masculine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy. And when you inhale through the left, you're connecting with your yin or your moon energy, the feminine energy. Finding balance as you breathe breath into the body, allowing the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems to balance each other. Now, the next time you exhale through the left nostril, you can release the hand, and we'll just take a pause. Just notice. From here, we'll move into a tabletop position. So bring the knees under the hips, and if you want to put a blanket under those knees, by all means do so. Really find some nourishment today in your practice. The hands come underneath the shoulders. And as you inhale, let the belly button reach towards the mat as your gaze opens forward. And on the exhale, the belly button pulls towards the spine, chin comes to chest. And letting the breath breathe you as the belly button lowers And as you exhale, gentle push up through the palms, the shins, the top of the feet. And just let that spine start to move. See if you can be aware of the spine as you come into cow, as the energy moves up. And as you exhale and the energy rolls down as the back lands. Connecting the breath here with the movement, the inhale opens the heart space and the exhale rounds the back, coming in together. Now you can continue with this cat-cow, or we can just let the hips start to move side to side. And let the hips start to make some circles. First in one direction and then the other. Or just let your body start to move, just instinctively here. Let the movement be organic. Maybe the torso wants to move in a certain way. The hips, the shoulders. Just let things start to warm up and loosen up as we start the day. Now we'll bring those hands forward and we'll really connect the thumb here and the knuckle of the fingers to the mat. We'll tuck those toes, and on the inhale, we'll lift those sits bones right up towards the sky. We'll walk and pedal those feet. So from here, just let the knees bend a little bit here. Really think about lengthening the spine. And then maybe let the knees straighten. Now we'll look up at the thumbs here, and we'll walk those feet towards the thumbs towards the feet, as you find yourself in this forward fold. So let the knees be bent here. The hands can rest on the mat, on blocks, on opposite elbows. Let the head and neck really relax and release here. Let the hips maybe have a little sway from side to side. Now connecting with the core, tightening that core. Let the knees bend, and as you inhale, slowly start that roll up to an upright posture. Letting the head be the last to come up, shoulders release down. And just take a moment here. Your feet are underneath the hips. Shoulders are relaxed. You can let the palms shine out here. And just feel yourself connected. Feeling the earth energy here as you find your mountain pose this morning. And then we'll take a nice inhale here. Let the hands come up overhead. We'll interlace the fingers. Let the palms press towards the ceiling. Take a nice inhale, and on the exhale, as you engage that core, let's take a little trip here to the side. Inhale brings you back to center, and the exhale takes you to the other side. Inhale, back up you come. The exhale, the hands release down, come to the back. And if the hands can interlace, let the hands interlace. And you'll let the knuckles reach down towards the floor as the heart space opens. And then we'll release that on the exhale and give that a little shake. And for some reason, my stomach is like really growling this morning. So if you hear that, that's what it is. Although I might blame the squeak in the stage. So just so you know. All right, so those feet are right underneath the hips. And we'll take those arms up again. This time we'll bring that right arm down and we'll let the tips of the fingers reach in opposite directions. So that top finger, top hand is reaching up, the bottom is reaching down. Feel that nice opening in the side body as you take a couple of breaths here. And the next exhale releases that hand. Inhale, up we go again. And on the exhale, hands are reaching in opposite directions. Gaze can be towards that hand if you'd like, or gaze can be forward. Just being cognizant and gentle with your neck. And the exhale release. Let's do a couple more of those shoulder rolls now, standing. Inhale and release them down. It feels so good to let those shoulders move. Maybe you hear some little clicking or popping. Sometimes our fascia wants to release and let go. Now we'll take an inhale here. We'll bring those hands up. And on the exhale, we'll bring those arms into a cactus position. So we'll take a nice inhale here, opening the chest. And as you exhale, we'll round the shoulders, chin comes to chest as forearms and palms come together. And inhale. And exhale, rounds. Now as you inhale, you'll notice that there's a little arch here in the back, so you have a little ducktail here. And then as you exhale, that belly button comes in and you round forward. So extending and flexing the spine. Connecting the breath with the movement. Here, I'll check the air. And now as we move through this, we can let the arms extend long and the back of the hands come together as we come forward and we open. So just let this movement become a little bit larger. And the next exhale brings the hands up overhead. Or the inhale brings the hands up overhead. The exhale, we'll have a little twist from the waist up here, being gentle the knees. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. And as you inhale back, we'll bring the hands to that cactus position. And we'll take the twist with the hand in a different position. Now coming back to center, we'll let the arms come down so at about 45-degree angle. And we'll move in that twist for a third time here. And coming back to center. All right, so let the feet be a little bit wider than hip width apart. And from our waist down, we're going to be strong like a tree trunk here. Knees are slightly bent. And then let the torso just start to move. And as the torso moves, the arms just move on their own. And you can control this movement of the arms by the torso. You can let the torso stop and let the arms move a little bit faster. Or just let this be a nice little back warm up this morning. The hands can connect with the hips or with the lower back. Just let yourself move into that. The movement. And then we're going to check this. Yeah, so just let that. Just let yourself move through this. Okay, we'll let this wind down. This can be a really nice movement in the morning if you wake up and things are a little tight. It will help loosen things up a little bit. Now we'll bring those feet back underneath the hips. And we'll bring our hands to the lower back. And we're just going to do this lower back movement. So we're going to cock the hips out to the right, to the front, to the other side, to the back, and then we'll just start to round those corners off. And what we're doing is we're keeping the back and the hips in alignment here. So we're not just moving the upper back. We're letting this all move together as one. This helps to strengthen that lower back, which is what we want, a nice, strong back. And we're not going past any comfort here, we're just going to the edge of that comfort zone. We'll go in the other direction. Just letting things unwind and release. We'll bring this back to center. And in Qigong, this is called the Kwa right here. You'll notice these little grooves. So we'll let our fingers point down towards those grooves. And it's as if our tailbone now wants to draw some circles on the mat. So we'll start to let the hips. So this movement is all within the hips. And this doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be very small. And once again, we're not going past any areas of discomfort. Just working within the comfortable range. Switch. All right, we'll bring this back to center. And we'll take a step forward and we'll bring our foot, so it's just on the ball of the foot, and we'll rotate that foot. So a little massage for the bottom of the foot. You'll see that gets into the knee and into the hip. And we'll go in the other direction. And then we'll let that toe get a little stretch. And we'll change sides. The ankle rotate here, really getting into all our joints this morning. Go in the other direction. And then we'll give those toes a nice little stretch. And from here, we'll just do a shake out, shake it all out, shake out the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the waist, the legs, the knees, the ankles, just let it all go. Just let it all. It's how often we just really do this. All right. Now, we'll come to the front of your mat. And we'll step back with that left foot. So the left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Those toes are forward. The torso is forward here. And we'll bring the hands to heart space. So we'll take that front knee will be bent and be right over that front ankle. Take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, we'll bring those hands forward. And the inhale brings them around to the side. And we'll just start to move through this. And really let your breath work with this, whichever way it works with your breath. Let that happen. So we're parting the clouds here. We're moving the clouds, knowing that the sun is always there, just to see what might be blocking our path, blocking our perception. I'll move this one more time. Bring the hands back to heart space. We'll step that front foot forward, shake out those knees. And then he will bring that the other foot back. 45-degree angle, then that front knee over that ankle, hands to heart space. And find your breath here. Find your breath. What works for you? Let me see here. What can you push aside, let go of? One more time. Hands the heart space. Back foot forward. And once again, we'll give that a nice little shake out. All right, so now to really let go of things, we'll do what's called the breath of joy. So for the breath of joy, we'll take 3 sniffs as we inhale, inhale, and inhale. And on the exhale, with our knees bent, our core engaged, we'll exhale with a ha. And this can be right here, it can be here, it can be low. Once again, always honoring that low back and making sure that low is happy and safe. So we'll start here, we'll take a inhale, 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 and a ah. Sniff, 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 and ha. 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 Like this, like this, like this, let it go. Ha. Ha. You feel lightheaded, you can stop at any time. One more, this is our last one. Ha. Bring those hands up. And just let yourself be for a moment. Now let's take a nice inhale. Hands come overhead. On the exhale, palms are down, fingers are almost touching as we break down in front of the body, letting the hands come to rest on that lower body. And we'll take our right hand as you inhale, and we'll bring it up the side. And on the exhale, the thumb traces the center line down the body until it comes to rest on the other hand. Then the inhale, send you back to the other side. And the exhale, raise you. Now move through this 2 more times with your breath. Letting yourself feel this grounding. Feeling your feet connected as you're scooping up energy. Grounding it, bringing down. Remember, you completed your rounds with no rush, no hurry. Just let your hands rest on that lower abdomen. And just notice. Notice where your mind is. Notice how your body's feeling. Feeling yourself connected to the mat, to your practice. If you wandered off with your to-do list for the day, maybe invite yourself back. Just being present. And release the hands. Have a little shake. Give the legs a little shake. And we'll move through, move into a little warrior set. And I'm just going to take one more moment. I don't really, what's one of the intended to be.
I think you have to make the temperature very low. There you go. That's gonna open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't opened.
It's the.
There it goes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
humidity is like.
But it's really too cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, sorry to the people online, we're having a temperature control issue. All right, so we're going into warrior. All right, so from the top of your mat, once again, we'll step that left foot back. This time that left foot is going to be parallel with the back of your mat. Your front toes are forward, but the torso is positioned in line with the long part of your mat. All right, so with the shoulders over the hips, we'll take a nice inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll bend that front knee, rotating that knee out towards the small toes. And as you inhale, we'll straighten. So we'll exhale again, bending that knee, rotating it out. And as you inhale, we'll straighten, we'll bring the hands to heart space. And we'll just move through this, bending the knee on the exhale, hands come to T. Inhale, back to heart space. The exhale will come to this T position, and we'll hold this, but we'll let the palms face up to release the shoulders. Palms rotate back down. Gaze is over those front fingers. Shoulders are right over the hips here. Belly button is folding to the spine. Let yourself breathe. Feel your strength here. The inhale lifts that front palm high, back palm rests on the back leg. That front knee stays bent. Take a breath here. The exhale, that front elbow comes to front knee. That back hand sweeps across and up, opening the chest, opening the heart space. The elbow is over the ear, palm facing the floor. Feet again are firmly planted here. Feeling your strength. Inhale, you come back to warrior two. The gaze is out, the shoulders relaxed. The inhale straightens that front leg. The exhale reaches those fingers forward as they come down to rest on a block, on your shin, on your top leg. The torso opens, that top hand reaches high. It can rest on the side, on your back, honoring your shoulder this morning, honoring your body. Let yourself be high enough here so that that torso can. All right, inhaling, back we come. Exhale those arms down. We'll turn the toes toward the front so they're in the same direction. And we'll bring the toes inward just a little bit so that the heels are a little bit wider than the toes. Now we'll engage that core. We'll take a nice breath. And on the exhale, we'll bend the knees, and bending from the hip creases, we'll start slowly make our way forward until our hands are resting either on the mat, on blocks, you can rest on your shins here. Again, the head and neck are relaxed and released. If you'd like to straighten those knees a little, you can try that. And we'll take an inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll walk the hands over to those right toes. Inhale takes you back to center. And the exhale walks you over to the left toes. And back you come to center. And with the knees slightly bent, the core engaged, we'll take that inhale and slowly start to move back to that upright posture, letting the shoulders release here. And we'll walk those feet together, heel toe. Give our leg a little shake. All right. So we'll come back to the top of the mat. Let's take a nice inhale, bring those hands up overhead. And on the exhale, palms find each other. They come to rest in front of heart space. And just take a moment here. Just a moment to check in with your body, connecting with your breath, letting the breath keep you connected to your heart, your practice, your mind. Release those hands down to the side. The breath moves in with the inhale, and on the exhale, we'll step that right foot back. So we'll find that warrior 2 feet again. That front heel usually makes a straight line to the arch of that back foot, if that's comfortable. If not, you can widen your stance a little bit so that you feel secure. We'll take an inhale here, and on the exhale, we'll bend that front knee. The inhale, the leg straightens, hands come together. Exhale into that T position with the bent knee. Inhale back to center. And on the exhale, come into that static pose. If you'd like to bring those palms up to release the shoulders, and rotate them back down. Gaze is over the fingers. And breathe here. Breathe into this warrior pose. What is warrior to you? How do we live as a warrior? What does that mean to you? The inhale, that palm lifts. The gaze can lift. Feet are still firmly connected. And exhale, brings that front elbow to the front knee. Backhand sweeps around. Coming to open the chest. Palm is facing down. I've heard it said that living as a warrior means living from your heart every moment. Inhale back to that warrior 2. And the next inhale, straightens that front leg. The exhale reaches those front fingers forward, coming to rest on blocks on your leg, opening that heart space. And again, the top arm is high. It can rest on the side of your back, finding what honors your shoulders. Breathing. Breath. Inhale brings you back to upright. Hands release down. Those feet turn forward. And we'll heel to that together. Just shake out those legs a little bit. Now the feet, again, step wide. This time the toes are wider, so they're kind of going towards the corners of your mat. Inhale, we'll bring those hands up overhead. And on the exhale, knees bend, arms bend as we come to that goddess pose. The inhale, the legs straighten, the arms straighten, we come back into that star position. Now this time as we exhale, we come in letting Let pelvis reach towards the floor. And breathe here. Feeling how strong you are. Releasing into it. Take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, let the hands come to the top of the legs. The inhale lengthens the spine. And as you exhale, you find a nice little twist. Inhale can bring you back to center. And the exhale can move you in the other direction. So move through this with your breath. You can move with each breath. You can stay on one side for a few breaths. Just connecting with what your body is asking for this morning. And then when you have done the equals on both sides, you can come back to center. We'll take the inhale, let the knees straighten as the arms come up overhead. And then we're going to exhale and go back to that goddess pose. You're going to breathe here. Feel how strong you are. Warrior goddess here. Let that pelvis reach down towards the floor. That tailbone reach right down towards the floor. Inhale, back we come. Straight legs, arms up. Exhale, release that down. And again, we'll heel toe those feet together. I don't think this has made any difference whatsoever. I apologize. I don't know what's going on.
You have to think of like 60 degrees.
You know what? Maybe I'll open the door a little bit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much ice.
One of the coolest days of the summer, right?
Exactly, and we were roasting. Perfect. Okay. Oh.
Alrighty. Okay, here we go. Feet come back underneath the hips. We'll take a nice inhale, hands come up overhead. And on the exhale, knees bend, belly button engages as we come down into that forward fold. Once again, head and neck release here. If knees are bent, this is more of a back stretch. If knees are straight, it's more of a hamstring stretch. Then we'll bring the hands to the mat and step back into tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to come right over into a seated, well, actually, no, we're not. Let's go back to tabletop. Let's let the knees be wide, the big toes together, and let's exhale and come into child's pose.
Oh, much nicer.
We'll let the hips move towards the heels and let the forehead rest on the mat or on your hands, on your fists. And just surrender into the pose. Just let yourself release. And if child's pose isn't an easeful pose for you, just roll over onto the back and pull the knees into the chest. And give yourself in this moment permission to do nothing. How often do we get just to do nothing? To just be. And take a nice full inhale. And long exhale out. Maybe even with a sigh. And then we'll find our way back to tabletop and into seated. Now in seated position, always know that you can sit up on a blanket. The hips are a little tight. You can sit on the edge of a blanket. Sit on your bolster. Sometimes just sitting on a mat isn't always comfortable for everyone. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. The knees are wide. And we'll take a nice inhale to lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, we'll let the heart space lead us forward into this butterfly pose. The hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. We'll just let gravity move us into the pose. And then we'll inhale. We'll come back to upright. We'll push those knees together. And for our next posture, you can come into a comfortable seated position. You can have blocks under the knees. You can also come into rock pose, which is on the knees. And if you're in rock pose, sometimes it's useful to put a blanket or a cushion between the legs. So find your comfortable position. And we're going to go into what's called washing machine. That's really a yogic pose, right? So we'll bring hands to the shoulders. Now, if it's not comfortable to have your hands on the shoulders, they can just stay in a goalpost position here. And so as you inhale, you'll move to the left, which I'm not mirroring you right now. So you move to the left. And as you exhale, you'll move to the right. So we're really just moving from the waist up here. And the inhale brings us to the left, the exhale to the right. Now the eyes can be closed here, the eyes can be open, the head can follow the movement, the head can stay neutral. So this can be a nice, slow movement, or as you start to loosen up, you can also speed up the movement. But again, listening to your body and what your body needs. And back to center we come. Take a nice inhale. Hold the breath for 1, 2. And exhale, release, let the arms down. And just pause for a moment. Just notice the energy in the body. Let the shoulders move. Or if there's any other move that you're feeling called to experience. Legs come in front, stand forward. Move this back so I can. So we'll take again a nice inhale. Let that inhale come right up from the sits bones, right up through the spine, right up through the top of the head. And on the exhale, that torso moves forward as a whole. The hands can rest wherever they're comfortable here. And let's just keep the head and neck in alignment. And then if it feels comfortable, you can release the head and neck and come in to the pose. As you inhale, we'll walk those hands up the body. Just give those legs a nice little tap on the carpet, on the mat, and shake them out. Now we'll bend the knees, bring the feet on the floor, and we'll roll back down into a prone position here. So we'll come all the way back. You can tighten that core and come back however you want. If you want to take a nice, slow little meander down, you can do that. Or if you'd rather do it in a different way, that's fine. But just let yourself come to rest fully on the mat. Ah, yeah, just let it all out, release it. Pull one knee in for a nice little hug. And then the other knee comes in for a hug. Gentle movement from side to side. Let that left foot now come down to connect with the mat. That left knee stays bent, and we'll bring the right ankle over that left knee. Now you can use that right hand and put just a little bit of pressure on that upper right leg if you'd like, or lift that left leg, spreading the fingers behind or in front of that knee. And whichever pose you choose, just let the head and neck stay nicely connected to the mat. Relaxed. Now, if you've chosen to lift that left foot, let that come back to the mat. That right ankle stays right where it is. And we'll just move the legs from side to side. Again, this is a small or a large movement. Coming back to center, release that right foot down and move to the other side. So finding your position here. And allowing the breath to continue, inhaling through the nose, moving down into that lower belly, lower abdomen. And let the exhale be long and full, back out through the nose. That right foot is lifted, bring it back to the mat, and we'll let those legs again move side to side. And release that foot down to the mat. Just readjust the spine here before you pull both knees back in for a hug. Take a nice inhale here. And on the exhale, let the knees come over to the left as you roll onto that left hip. Right shoulder releases back to the mat. And you can support those knees with mat, or not with the mat, but with your hand, with a bolster, with a block. And your gaze can be over that right shoulder, it can be at the ceiling, or it can be towards the knees. Taking a nice inhale and exhale here. And then the inhale brings those knees back to center. You can plant the feet. Once again, realign that spine. Inhale brings the knees in toward the chest. And the exhale over to the right. Left shoulder releases back. And just breathe. Inhale brings you back to center. And extend one leg long and the other. So let's bring that left ankle over to the left side of the mat. the right ankle comes over the left. We'll inhale the hands over the head, and that right wrist comes to the left hand. So we're in this banana shape here, this little C shape. Both hips are nicely connected, so we're not rolling onto one hip. Both hips are connected, opening the side body again. Being respectful to the shoulders. We'll inhale and bring the feet back to center. And we'll take that right ankle to the right side of the mat. Left ankle comes over right. And now that left wrist comes to the right hand. Release this all back to center. Let the fingers interlace with just those pointer fingers pointing. And we'll let those fingers point in one direction, the toes in another, as we take a nice full body stretch here. And let the exhale float the hands down to the side. I'm tracking in, seeing if there's any other twist, any other bend, any other movement that would just feel good right now. And then once you feel complete, we'll settle in for a little bit of a visualization. So find whatever will bring you comfort in your Shavasana. So if you'd like a bolster under your knees, a blanket under your head, a blanket over you, just what would really bring you comfort? And I am glad to get anything that anybody would need. Anybody want a blanket or, just find a really comfortable position. Notice if there's any little adjustment that would make your body even more relaxed. Noticing the connection of your body to the mat, as you feel it being fully supported from the top of your head, down through the spine, down to the tips of your toes. And take a full inhale. And on that exhale, let the body slide even deeper into rest, into relaxation, into just letting go. Really feel the comforting support of your mat, floor, of the earth yourself. Letting the body go, letting it become soft, heavy. And maybe even start to imagine a place that you'd love to be. It can be someplace that's real. It may be a place that you traveled, or it may be something totally imaginary. Just let your mind travel as your body relaxes. And take this time to just be as your body reaps the benefits of it. Taking the inhale. Let your breath gently start to bring you back to your space. Let the breath bring you into your body, feeling the mat under you. And if it's comfortable, keeping the eyes closed. Let your body stretch long on the mat. And bringing the hands together. And start to let the wrists rotate, the fingers move. The feet move, ankles rotate. You can bring the palms together and start to rub the palms together, generating some heat. And when there's some nice heat there, let the palms come to rest over the eyes. And with the palms still over the eyes, then let the eyes start to open slowly. Seeing the light filtered in through the hands. And when you're ready, you can release the hands, pulling the knees in toward the chest. Giving yourself that little hug of gratitude. And when you're ready, rolling to one side, letting the head rest. And be like the lotus. Trust in the light, grow through the dirt, and believe in new beginnings. And when you're ready, bring yourself back to upright. And take this moment. The love, the light, the radiance that lives in me recognizes, honors, and is so grateful for the love, the light, the radiance that shines from you. Thank you so much for your gift of presence this morning. Namaste.
Namaste.